Happy Monday, folks. If you're watching this, you can actually see my Christmas tree in the man cave is actually up. Yes. Anyway, it's nearly Christmas. Right, it's Monday morning. So what we do on Mondays is we go through my week in numbers, the good, the bad, the indifferent, and we go through all that. By the way, if you're not signed up with all the other cool kids, get signed up, MrSelfStories.com. Unbelievable amount of people subscribed, and I absolutely love it. It's my passion project. Daily newsletter, Monday to Friday, daily newsletter, and I give you a self-storage tip, and I give you all my numbers. The reports that I get on an evening, I send to you guys so you can exactly see how my business is doing in real time. Right, so last week, it was a little bit quieter week than it was previously. And like I always say, there's some positives and there's some negatives. In every single week, you can focus on the good, you can focus on the bad. And ultimately, I suppose all we can say is that in November, if we're square foot up across the whole portfolio, then it can't have been a bad week. It can't have been a bad week. So we had 86 quotes across the portfolio of 5 self-storage sites. 86 quotes, that's not massive. That's a little bit quieter than it was previous weeks. We moved in 24 and our reservations were 24. So on the downside, we didn't reserve as much as we want. Our aim every single week now is to reserve 30 reservations. And we want around about the same move-ins as well. So we're down on that. So that's not great. However, we was plus square foot. We was 1,250 plus at Mansfield, and we was 100 square foot. So if we take off Mansfield, because obviously Mansfield's a new site, so you're going to be plus there. If you take off Mansfield, then we was 100 square foot up. So on the face of it, that looks really, really good in November, back into November. However, not when you was anticipating being around about 1,000 square foot up at Willoughby. So again, we had extra move outs. We didn't have, for some reason, the reports wasn't perfect on Space Manager. It said we was going to move in this amount of people. And then we actually looked at it. It wasn't. It was incorrect. So, apparently Space Manager said there was a bug somewhere and it won't happen again. But yeah, it's just when you expect one thing, expectation. I told you, expectation is a killer. So if you just if you just show me this week now 100 square foot up in the end of November, I'd been brilliant. But because my expectation levels was over here, because by the way, I'm doing high sign, so it's high. My expectations was high for the week. It didn't materialize because obviously more move outs and the data wasn't correct on Space Manager. So I don't know, is it a plus week or a negative? Do you know what? I'm going to say negative week. It was probably a negative week overall for the quotes, low on reservations, low on move-ins. So yeah, overall, I would say it's a negative. However, I do have very, very high standards, so maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. Anyway, let's dive into it. I'll tell you exactly what it was across the board then. Let's start with my big site. I'll tell you what, let's start with revenue. Revenue. We took 36,120. We took £306 at Mansfield. Come on. 5,238 at Wrexham, 4,882 at Clough Road, 2,973 at Beverley, and 22,719 at Willoughby. Reservations. So as you know, we took 24 reservations, 2 booked online, and so that is 2 booked online. I've got here, that's 8%. That's not, I don't think that's 8%. Let's have a look. 2 divided by 24. It is 8%. It is 8%. Right, so yeah, 8% of my reservations booked online. Jack was in top spot again this week with 6 reservations. So it was they got spread out quite evenly. Angela got 5, Katie got 4, James got 5, Jack got 6, Claire got 2. Come on, the wifey. And online was 2. Right, Willoughby figures. We did 24 quotes at Willoughby. That was 3.43 quotes a day. So a little bit, well, definitely lower where we want to be. We want to be at least 30. Reservations were 7. So that's a conversion rate from quotes to reservations of 29%. We had 10 move-ins. So the move-ins was pretty good overall. The move-ins, 10 move-ins. That's a conversion rate of 42%. We moved in 1,015 square foot. So in some respects, in some regards, if you're moving in over 1,000 square foot in a week back into November, how can you be disappointed? I don't know. Because I'll tell you why. Because the move outs was 1,150. So we lost 135 square foot. We had 13 rooms move in, 13. Oh, sorry. This is, internal rooms. So 13 moved in, 13 moved out. So look at this 333 rooms occupied. So 13, baker's dozen, moved in, 13 moved out, 333 occupied. Containers in, we moved in 1 container, moved out 2 containers, 46 containers rented out currently. The store occupancy is 75.31%. Want to be over that 80% mark. Actually, now Clough Road has a higher occupancy than Willoughby. How about that? That is mental. Mental. I don't know where that came from. I ain't got a clue. 6,400 average insurance sold. So that's good because we want to aim for 6,000. And by the way, if you aren't selling insurance, you are leaving money on the table. And if you want to sell me a facility, then I am more than interested. And by the way, if anybody else wants to sell their facility as well, I'll be happy to do so because I want to acquire some more facilities. So get in contact with me. So 7 move-ins due this next week for 400 square foot. And 7 move-outs due for 780 square foot. I'm going to take a pause here because I need to take my kid to school, and I'll be back in a diddly-do. And we is back from taking the kids. I've done 2 school runs, and back again. Right, Clough Road. Clough Road, 27 quotes last week. We've got 9 reservations, so that's not too bad on the reservation front. Quote to reservations is 33%, so pretty good there. Happy with that. We had 6 move-ins, so that's 22% quotes to move-ins. And we moved in 425 square foot. So not a massive amount, but we moved out 225 square foot. So come on, you can do it. We was up 200 square foot overall. And we are the highest ever occupancy at Clough Road at the minute. We are, I think it's 75%. Let's just double check. Clough Road, here we go. Clough Road, come on, you can do it. Here we go. Yep, absolutely bang on 75.77%. So 70%, 76% full, which is really, really good for Clough Road. We are, it's improving all the time. Do you remember we had that dip about 2 months ago when I think we went down to 62% or something like that. And that was a little bit of a worrying time for Clough Road, but now it's back up there. And in November, highest ever occupancy, really, really good. If we can get to 80-something% by February, that means 2 years in and we're 80% full, which should be amazing. Beverly, check these quotes out. Amount of quotes, 3. We had 3 bloody quotes. 2 reservations, so that's not actually too bad. 67% conversion rate. We had 2 move-ins, so 67% conversion rate. We had 100 square foot moved in and 0 square foot moved out. And we have got 81 rooms occupied. We've got the occupancy level at the minute of 86%, 85.91. The average insurance sold this week was £4,000. Let's have a look at Clough Road. Sorry, I forgot average insurance and stuff at Clough Road. The average insurance at Clough Road, this is back to Clough Road, is 5,500. So a little bit below where we want to be. We've got, still on Clough Road, we've got 3 move-ins due this next week for 200 square foot and 3 move-outs due for 325 square foot. Right, back over to Beverly. £4,000 was the average insurance there. We've got 2 move-ins due this week for 320 square foot. So it looks as though we've got 2 containers coming in, and we've got 1 move out for 50 square foot. So should be a positive week at Beverly. Wrexham. I love it when we've got lots of sites. This is great. 14 quotes at Wrexham. We only had 1 reservation at Wrexham. Crikey. 7% conversion rate. We had 2 move-ins, which is a 14% conversion rate. 85 square foot moved in, 150 square foot moved out. So Wrexham, for the first time in a long time, we had a minus week, only 65 square foot though. And we only had 2 move-ins, and they both took £3,000 worth of insurance, so average of £3,000. This next week at Wrexham, we're due to move in 2 people for 150 square foot, and we're due to move out 0. Right, Mansfield, the last site, 18 quotes. Now, one thing I'm really, really pleased with is Mansfield is that our SEO team in the background are working absolute wonders, because we are now ranked number 2 in the search terms for self-storage Mansfield, behind Store First. We're coming for your Store First. We will have that number 1 position before long. 18 quotes at Mansfield. I don't really know what to expect with the quotes at Mansfield. I'm hoping for around about 25 quotes average per week. So it's a little bit below where we want to be, but it's very, very early days. Amount of reservations were 5. Number, so that's a conversion rate of 28%. We have four move-ins this last week, and we basically moved in 1,250 square foot. So 1,250 square foot moved in, and we had nobody move out. So up 1,250. We've got 29 internal rooms occupied, and we are 18% full. I don't actually think that's too bad. I think that's really, really good. The average insurance is £4,500. So, yeah, a bit below where we want to be. This next week, we've got 3 move-ins for 300 square foot and 0 move-outs. Let's have a look. Oh, one last thing to tell you about is my Google Analytics. We had 409 website visitors last week, and we did a total of 22 reservations because we don't include the 2 from Beverly because that's a different website. So that's a conversion rate of 5%. Anything above 5%, I think, is really, really good. Idea is to get them website users up, then people who come to visit our website. If we get them up, then yeah, we can hopefully convert more reservations. So 5% of all website traffic reserved, which I think is pretty good. And that is it, my friends. There's nothing more to tell you. All right, I love you, I appreciate you, and I will see you guys tomorrow when we'll have another self-storage tip. All right, love you, appreciate you, bye.